That takes us to our final album for this month's recap.
All right, I'm done for the evening. Bye, guys.
What?
Let's talk about Fit for King and their new album, The Hell We Create.
I see you lost in the darkness. Your body's breaking down, so afraid and tormented.
Yes. Wow. This is the best Fit for a King album.
I wish I could feel that way.
I wish I could feel that way.
I
think this dethroned Dark Skies. And I think it's not close. What?
You know what? This album doesn't have enough bells.
I fucking love that they were on Twitter. They're like, "Don't worry, guys. We don't have as many bells on this album." And Jake's the one fucking guy who's like, "I really miss the bells."
When I think about
that's fucking fantastic.
The Path was a top 10 album of 2020, and it had a lot of bells. This album has significantly less bells, and I'm feeling significantly more indifferent to it. I don't know, man. There seems to be a correlation.
That's phenomenal.
It's gotta be it, guys.
That has to be it. Surely it's not anything else. With that being said, I think a lot of the songs on here are solid, and I don't think it's that much worse than The Path. It's just that the individual songs on here did not leave as much of an impact as like Louder Voice or God of Fire or Locked in My Head.
I 100% agree, and it's really sad because when I saw them live, Ryan went into like he talked about like what the album is about, and I thought that's like something I would really connect with, like dealing with like the feet. Like I think one of the songs, I can't remember which one he said, but it's about his wife got sick as right when he and his wife adopted, I think, 2 children, and it was like a very scary time for him where he thought she was gonna lose her.
The Other Side.
Yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but yeah, I thought that was like a bunch of these songs like would be something that I can really connect with. But I don't know why I can't. It's just because I don't like how it sounds sonically.
The thing about that is that I don't feel like sonically, other than the lack of bells, that this is too much of a departure from instrumentally what The Path sounded like.
Well, I didn't like The Path, so
I can't comment on Dark Skies because it's an album that exists. Someone else take it away. I can't talk after saying that.
I'm rubbing my hands together. I'm plotting. I'm scheming.
Like, I feel like, man, this is a kind of no, I can't say this because it involves the album we listened to the other day. But I could have a similar. I feel like you guys know what I'm talking about, but if you guys know what I'm talking about, I could have like a similar turnaround if I give this album a little bit more time and go into it with a different mindset.
Okay,
but just right now, it's just not doing it for me.
Yeah, Derek, it's your time.
So, damn. Okay, I've been really bad with hiding my hand.
Yeah.
You're not the only one. It's okay.
I've been really horrific with it, and we got a little bit out of Justin tonight, which was good.
Yeah.
Hello. Although we knew.
He's back.
We knew.
Yeah, we knew.
We knew. Okay. So, I think that this album is about living with mental struggles, depression, anxiety, loss of a loved one, and the overbearing and overwhelming way that it can feel given the state of the world currently. And it's that things are already shit, and it is hard to live when not only are people in power sabotaging the world, but you're sabotaging yourself, and that they want to keep you complacent and dependent on your own mental illness so that you don't see what's going on around you. And
That's deep.
I think that, I mean, even just in the opener, the hell that we create, I mean, obviously, like, face value, the world around us is the hell that we create, but also that sometimes we can create our own circumstances that feed into our own mental illness. They go for the throat and take away everything. No mercy for the ones who break the back. Sweet conviction, fragile sovereignty, no hope, bloodshed. And that our ending hours are knocking down our own door, running straight into the end, eradication. That kind of establishes the scene of we're like common people are struggling, and the elites in power or corporations, they don't give a shit about you, and that we as humanity have created our own hell that we are now walking into, whether it be, poverty, stuff with the climate, whatever. Like, we cause that, and the people who we as, like, I guess, like, common people or whatever report to, whether that be, politicians, CEOs, whatever, like, we're too busy working for them to work for humanity, and that they want to keep it that way. And then you get to the other side, which kind of delves into that idea of loss of a loved one, or the potential loss of a loved one, like you were talking about, where it's like, a lifetime of mourning inside me, rising so high I can barely breathe, purpose replaced with doubt, blinded by the thought of a life lived without you, and talking about the depression and anxiety that leaves with the thought of losing a loved one. And that sort of stems to that idea of, here's something that we struggle with on top of the shitty circumstances that we've created for ourselves and subjected ourselves to. And it keeps going through with Falling Through the Sky, Sink Below, Reaper, that to me, all of those are about different mental illnesses or different facets of struggling with your own internal kind of emotional turmoil. And then you get to times like this where it kind of goes into the idea, is how I interpret it, was that you kind of, that even amongst how shitty it is, we still think that we're at the best point that we could be, because we know that it's only going to get worse from here. And it's kind of a wake-up call that, like, okay, you need to start paying attention because it's already bad. We think it's good, but it's going to get worse. And then after that realization, it's kind of like we get to Eyes Roll Back. I think this is a concept album, personally. And that with Eyes Roll Back, which comes immediately after, is I see it again and again. I open my eyes, but I keep my mouth shut. In silence, I'll dig my own grave. Born into chaos, bred to seek pain at every turn. Wake up and feel my insides burn. That it's kind of like, even when you make the realization that, okay, we need to do something about this, like, you can open your eyes and have that realization for just a brief moment, but they're going to close, they're going to roll back again. And the eyes rolling back is, even if you can see what's going on around you, your eyes are going to roll back into your head, so you're looking at the own problems inside your head again and not focused on what's around you. And that's what the people in charge want you to do, so that you don't see how shit everything is. And then you get to Fracture, which is kind of losing myself because I was holding on to the person that I saw inside. You were seeing it inside because your eyes rolled back. Every lie that you justified, I'm leaving you behind. I don't need you in my life. I don't need you. And that it's kind of like realizing that, okay, because I've had that moment of clarity of seeing how bad things are around me, I need to work on myself and get out of that so that I can help other people and help the world around me and be a better version of myself for myself. Which then goes to Reaching Out, where it's about, hold on, I know it can get easier, dealing with the pain, watching through the window as the light begins to fade, reaching out to someone to take it all away. I know it can get easier, I just wish it was today. I swear I'll pick you up off the ground. I swear I'll pull you out when you start to drown. If I can make you numb to this heartache, I would take it away. And it's making that realization of yourself that I don't think that that's about, I'm feeling like shit or my mental health is bad, I wish I could feel better today. It's having made that realization for yourself and looking at the people around you and trying to reassure them, like, hey, it does get better. I just wish that I could do something to make you feel better in this moment and to help you. Which gets to the closer, which is What You Left Behind, where it's, this house doesn't feel like home. When the ghosts of the past walk through these halls, just a part of the syndrome, skeletons so lost, hid in the walls. Let down, dragged out in the pouring rain, left to drown. I see it on their face. With every promise you have broken, another crack found in the foundation. maybe they'll hear us screaming from our lungs. Maybe they'll see us standing in our graves, fighting through our pain. That you kind of have to either make the choice to help others around you or to submit to the state of the world. And it's kind of that dichotomy of dealing with both of them and wrestling with, okay, should I keep fighting? But if nobody else, if I'm in this alone, is it worth it? Like, should I just give up? And that hoping that the people that are in power, that have created these circumstances that we're all subjected to, at the end, they may be forgotten, but I won't forget the hate that you left, the unpayable debt. With each passing moment, the fire consumes, your pride will bury you. Take a look at what you left behind. And it's this kind of final moment where, all my mental health aside, all that I tried to do to save the world, at the end of the day, when the world's burning and falling apart, the people who created these circumstances are going to have to look back on everything that they ultimately created and say, this is your fault. You can blame us all you want, but my struggles, our struggles, the struggles of humanity, this was all your fault, and you have nobody to blame for it but yourself. And to me, that's really fucking cool.
You're convincing me to give this one a couple more spins this month.
It should. It's so good. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but the last 4 albums have a storyline on the album art covers.
Ooh. I have not picked on that.
Death Grip, she's holding the rose, drops the rose in Dark Skies. And then do you see like the angel drop like the colors or whatever? The angel has the rose in Death Grip, isn't holding one in the path. It's dropping in Dark Skies, and the person in hell beneath them catches it in the hell we create. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Am I crazy?
No.
Like
No, I think you're onto something there.
Dude, this album is so good, and there's so much to unpack. And like sonically, even like that solo in Times Like This, the Ghost Inside feature, everything sonically, lyrically, thematically, it's all so good. I didn't expect to love this as much as I did based off the singles. But even though there are songs like Sink Below, Reaper, and Eyes Will Back are probably my 3 least favorite songs on here that I don't have them saved. But even in saying that, I think they're so integral to the album, and I like them enough, I'm just going to listen to them anyway, because this album has a very, at least to me, distinct story to tell, and I don't think that it, like, even if I don't save them, it's still worth listening to, because, especially Eyes Roll Back, they're so integral to the story here. And I think that overall this album is a masterpiece.
I'm definitely going to be giving this another listen, at the very least.
See, this is like Derek went way more in depth than Ryan did when I saw it live, but this is exactly why I want to like this album.
I feel like I haven't fully made up my mind on this album just because there was so much to listen to this month. Jacob, I feel like you have your mind a little more made up, that you just aren't clicking with it as much. I feel like I still have room to be convinced that this album is better than I was initially willing to give it credit for. I think the only things I'll add, Reaper is still my favorite song on here for the moment. Every day I'm on death row, just fucks. Times Like This, I think, is the most underwhelming song on here. It sounds like many other Fit for a King songs that I've heard in the past that I generally did not really care for. Like, it's a solid song, but it just feels super generic to me. And Eyes Roll Back is like borderline too heavy for me, and I don't love it.
Oh yeah, that's one thing I wanted to mention. Does anybody get God of Fire vibes from Eyes Roll Back?
Yes.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. It's not as good as God of Fire, though.
No, definitely not. No. I think, in conclusion, Derek loves this album. I still have room to be convinced. Jacob...
And I want to like this album.
Jacob wants
and Justin
to like
hasn't
it.
listened.
And Justin's
I
thoughts are
listened
behind
to
the
it.
paywall.
I listened to it. I'm just not a Fit for a King fan anymore.
Anymore. They
Yeah,
You
used
like
to
that
be.
one
to be.
song on Dark Skies?
No, it was
He's a slave
Everything
to
Means
Nothing,
Nothing, and there was another one that I had saved.
fan. I'm
remember.
gonna
Breaking the
guess like
Mirror?
The Price of Agony. I'm gonna guess The Price of Agony. That's my guess.
No,
Doesn't-
it was Locked in My Head.
Ah,
Mm.
yeah.
Fair.
That would make sense, yeah. So, in conclusion, listen to this album and figure out for yourself if you like it or not. clearly we have a lot of mixed opinions here, but clearly there is something special going on here as well. So